So, welcome friends. Let's have a small introduction of Dr. Prashanti. She's very sincere homeopath and practicing and studying also, doing MD. But she has vast experience of homeopathy, so I have selected her for this sessions. And her teaching style is also good, so you will enjoy her also.
So, hello everyone. Myself, Dr. Lakshmi Prashanti. I welcome you all to the online repertory training course 2025. First of all, I am very much thankful to Dr. Ganjam Kalatia sir for providing this opportunity to present in front of you all. So, today our primary objective for the session would be to deal what is actually the theme of animal kingdom, and then
Prashanti, 1 minute. You need to
yes.
open one door or window because there is echo.
So the primary objective of today's session would be introducing the basic features of animal kingdom, and then we will be differentiating invertebrates and vertebrates, and further we will be going throughout the spider themes, along with which we will be differentiating insecta group of remedies and spider remedies, and some little bit of tint I've added regarding the person evolution module of animal kingdom. So let's start. So first of all, what do we all know about animal kingdom? We have been continuously describing and studying about animal kingdom. The basic theme of animal kingdom is survival of always me versus you. Whenever you see any case of animal kingdom, you will see a lot of competition, aggression, fight, victim aggressor themes. There is a lot of themes about the other person is troubling me. I am getting troubled because of someone else. And there is a themes of sexuality, immorality, vindictiveness, violence, destruction, and all. So whenever you get such themes, you can think of animal kingdom to be precise. But animal kingdom basically is divided further into invertebrates and vertebrates. So since our back knowledge, we know what is invertebrates and vertebrates. So vertebrates are one who are developed and, backbone is present. Whereas invertebrates are those animals in which the backbone is absent, or the notochord or the spinal cord is actually absent. In vertebrates are the ones who are highly developed. Okay, so vertebrates are those where the backbone is present. The nervous system is highly developed. When it is nervous system, the highly developed are the mammals, in which we see a lot of development. Usually the issues in vertebrates belong regarding to the family and group dynamics. Wherever it is the issue from the other person, it's regarding the groupism.
Muchos casos.
And the moral values are very strong. Whereas in invertebrates, the annelids, platyhelminthes, the chordates, the arthropods, everyone, there the backbone is absent. The nervous system is actually very primitive. Being so primitive and so sensitive, there is oversensitivity to every external influences like that of light, environment, temperature, everything. So every slight thing or every minute thing. The invertebrate qualities also include the instinctual nature, and they always talk or the concern always to their own self-centered personality. They're always concerned about their own self. Throughout the case, whenever you consider or whenever you get any invertebrate remedies, the patient is always talking about himself only. And a small thing affects him. Such sensitivity, usually you may get confused with plant remedies. Even plant remedies have same sensitivity. So how can you differentiate with plant sensitivity and invertebrates? Plant sensitivity, with sensitivity, you will have an active and passive reaction. That's one function, and there would be one active and passive reaction. You would be seeing two action and opposite reaction either. So there will be two sensations and functions in plant. Whereas in invertebrates, there is just talk about me, myself. In previous sessions, if you would have gone through molluscans, they are also self-centered. They always issue within themselves only. With that, there is also a very important theme of being small, being very diminished, being very so small that anything big can affect me, anything big can harm me. And because invertebrates, so there is an issue of life and death. And because of having a shorter lifespan, there is always a theme that my life is going to end at any moment. We have insectas, we have spiders and invertebrates, in which whenever we see whenever we see any insecta or any spider, what do? We crunch it, we smash on it, and that is how their lifespan is unpredictable, because of which there is suddenness. I have to do all my work, I have to do all my tasks before my life finishes. And thus comes a theme of suddenness and restlessness. So whenever you see a patient having restlessness and suddenness and having a lot of fear of being smashed or trapped or beaten, you can think of invertebrate theme of remedies. Moreover, the moral senses, the moral values are very lacking in invertebrates. How it could be defined? Like, you can see lasciviousness. They are very wild in their character, very impulsive. Narcissistic type of personalities. Those who are actually very self-centered. The one who are very impulsive. There is sudden frequent changes, sudden mood changes. So then you can think of invertebrate remedies. Further, so we have phylum Arthropoda, in which we have insects and other order classes. So in arachnidas, we have 3 orders. The order 1 is order Arania, order 2 is order Acarina, and order 3 is order Scorpions. So the Arania forms has spiders, Acarina has ticks and mites, and Scorpions obviously scorpions. So how do we know spiders? Spiders are the ones, small creepy animals, scary ones who are hanging in one corner of the web and then moving and rotating with the air and having a round body. So if we see the morphology, it's actually having one cephalothorax and abdomen with 3 pair of appendages. So, these actually are very highly toxic animals. The venom is very toxic. It contains a property of neurotoxicity and cytotoxicity, whereas neurotoxicity is more predominant. Now, these arachnids are basically further divided into, the spider family is further divided into araniomorphs and mygalomorphs. So mygalomorphs are the huge spiders, huge big spiders, which are the violent ones, the very aggressive ones. We have Mygale acidora in that, we have Tarentula hispanica, Tarentula cubensis. And the reactivity of how mygalomorphs react is, like if any unexpected situation comes, they cover it up or else they mask it and they're unable to move, or else they'll predict or they will act as if they can't move, or they will violently plunge their flanks into the prey and inject the venom into it. Whereas the other ones, the arenomorphs, which includes Arenadedema, lactodentals, are the small garden spiders, which prefer, when according to any situation or any any condition of reaction, then they prefer to flee, to move away, to run, to camouflage. And they are usually very cunning in nature. They are active as well as restless. And you can see a lot of sexual erotism with increased sexual desire. So whenever you see a lot of sexuality, you can think of animal remedies. With that, if you have sexual erotism, if the patient is talking about sexual erotism and sexual desire increase, you can also have a thought about spider remedies, basically arenomorphs. So Spiders basically are divided into many types. Cross spiders, which includes Arena diadema, Arena exobola, black widow spiders, which actually has Lactodectus mactans, Lactodectus heseti, Theridion, wolf spiders, big spiders, attract spiders, little spiders. Right? So little spiders are usually coming under arenomorphs. Rest other are in mygalomorphs. So these are the pictures in which this Tarentula hispanica and Tarentula cubensis are mygalomorphs, whereas Theridion, Lactodectus and Erinodiadema belong to arenomorphs. So let's start with the theme of spiders. You know, whenever you think of a spider, you actually get scared and it's like you want to hit it off and then you run away from there. But when you think from the spider's perspective, the main theme of spiders is trick and trap. Whereas when you think of snake remedy, it is planning and plotting, but here it's just trick and trap. The funny tricks and traps, the pretenders, the dancers. Usually there is an ambition to do something big. Because the spiders actually belong to the last subclass in the animal kingdom, I'll be showing the chart. They are in the king series, they want to do something big. But being an invertebrate, whatever job it is usually fruitless. So a very important rubric comes here, that is mind busy fruitlessly. Wants to do something, but that is fruitless activity. And it has two remedies of spider theme, which is Tarentula, Theridion. Whatever activities, like if you have a patient in clinic of spider theme, you will be seeing a lot of goalless activities. Whatever they talk or interpret is about something which is very vague. There is no definity. Because being of invertebrate kingdoms, there is no definition, there is no well-defined character. They're always restless. You know, there is a lot of mimicry, joking, manipulating, wanting to entertain people by making faces and all. And because of this theme of jealousy, aggression, to be proving that he's superior, there is a theme that he wants to win an opinion. By hook or crook, he wants to win the opinion or the judgment. And that judgment doesn't have a proper justification. It's just for no use, which is good for nothing. So as we discussed, these spiders are very good in manipulation. They easily know how to trick and trap by words and mimicry. So in your case, when you see or when you go through the case in the story orientation part or the right space investigations, you can see how they easily manipulate and trap by words to other patients and other people. With that, there's a theme of possessiveness. They won't let you go. There is a wait and watch mechanism. So usually what happens is when the prey gets stuck into the web of spider, the spider the web which is created by the spider is actually created by the saliva of the spiders. So this saliva enzymes suck the prey, it paralyzes it and then kills it. Then that juices go back to the spider. So that is how the spiders are actually very cold-blooded. They don't do any work. Always the lazy people. They are just for playing and tricking around. And through this theme, there is also a theme of spiders craving for juicy foods, like oranges. Desire for oranges is usually there in Theridion. They crave all those juicy foods. They don't have much of big appetite, but craving for juicy liquid foods. Along with that, there is desire for music, the type of music, drums, beats, jazz music, movements. So whenever you inquire about the hobbies of the patient, you may find that dancing and drums or this jazz music is basically liked by the patient, and that also ameliorates the complaints. There should be some waving, movement, restlessness theme throughout the spider remedies. There's one rubric which actually has Lactodectus and Tarentula, which is mind dancing amelioration. The predominant myasm in spiders is tubercular myasm. As we all know, there is a lot of restlessness. Always there is something to do, new, want of change, want of something interesting, always being in a hurry, suddenness. Then you can think of spider remedies. Some more features of spiders is attention seeking, mischievousness, attraction. So with the theme of attraction, I would like to tell you one thing of how mating happens in spiders. So whenever it is mating, the spiders actually have to attract the female spiders by dancing, by some movements. Only the female spider is okay or happy with that dance, then only it is okay for mating, or else it goes and kills the male spider. That is the type of deceitfulness which is there. It's on the verse of male spider that it either has to attract or it is on its head that it would die. So I would like to show one video with this. Just notice how it actually. See, this is how he dances to attract the female. He has to win it over, or else it would be killed. So this is how it is actually, right? So the dance matters here. So here also music, dance and all those things matter. There is a sense of high sexuality, a lot of color, fluorescence, and usually spider remedy people are the ones who are loners. They always prefer to be alone, to be solitary. So the togetherness and we being together, no. It's always being alone, planning and plotting, and to be tricking and trapping. Next thing comes, there is quick and constant movement. There is rhythmic movement. There's a patterned movement. Whenever you see there is some patient, there is a continuous movement, coiling movement, some movements you'll always see. There is restlessness throughout. Sensitivity to temperature changes, periodicity. And the big theme, which is deceiving, lying, cheating by hook or crook. Pretense and feigning, ambush, concealed behind, confined and disguise. Here I would like to share one case which I saw with my teachers. So this was a case of a female who was teenage. She suddenly developed, hyperactive disorders. She used to get violently very angry, used to fight friends, used to get very aggressive, scream on brother, has to fight with friends. It so extremely happened that one day she went and pinched one of her colleague friend, called school friend, very badly that it became a very blue bruised wound. And throughout the case, when her mother was telling, she was continuously jumping from one place to other, all. So, as I said, we were in a case, right? So, the case actually was of a female of 13 years. She was very cranky. In her school, she used to beat everyone. She pinched a person of her friend, very badly that a black bruised wound happened. Throughout the case in the clinic, she was continuously jumping from one place to another, very aggressively, violently moving the legs. It was actually disturbing in character when you see such people. And she's continuously moving her legs, singing the song, roaming here and there throughout the clinic. She's never in one place. And when, detailed it was as, these all complaints developed when her younger brother was born and he was getting so much of attention. So somehow she used to try to act in such a way that she would get all the attention and no one else get. She used to act in front of brother very nicely, but she used to beat him and run away. So there is sort of competition and aggression things, and when other generals were also, these were the main themes. Along with that, when other general themes were also inquired, there was very less appetite. And she used to love lot of oranges. She used to prefer eating oranges every time. Always orange juices were her favorite. That is when Theridion 1M was prescribed by teachers, and that actually helped her a lot, and her hyperactive this tendency and disorders reduced very well. So these are the themes like deceiving, lying, cheating by hook or crook, pretending, feigning sick, ambush, concealing behind, confined, and disguise. So this is how you can easily remember the spider remedies. So this has been just easily made so that it can be revised easily. S comes for small, speedy, and suddenness. P is there is a theme of being pursued. So pursued, paralyzed, punished. I stands for irritability, impulsive nature, and insane character. D is where it stands for deceitfulness, destructiveness, and death. Whereas E is excite, ensnare, and escape. Trick and trap and run away from there. And R stands for restlessness, rhythm, and rage. So these are the basic small themes through which you can remember the spider themes. So as we all know, spiders are actually known for, creating beautiful traps and then webs, and so that which can attract the victims. So how actually it attacks? That also is a very beautiful way. When the prey the spider sees the prey, it spies one sharp punch, just one sharp punch to the neck of the victim. And then with that toxic nature of the venom, it paralyzes and kills the victim. So whenever you see such theme, if the patient comes to you, it's like, one shot of that venom, I am just silently sitting in one corner, and that one shot suddenly, and you will never catch me how I did that. So it so happens beautifully in the spider themes that before the victim turns around to know what has happened, the spider has already vanished from that site. And you can't even imagine how it happened, what has bitten him. So this is the type of attack what actually spider patients talk about. They always talk about the attack which no one can catch off. You know how the attack done? It's like you can never catch me out. So now let us discuss some of the differences between insecta and spiders. Because both belong to the same phylum, there are a lot of confusion which happens whether it is a spider remedy or whether it is an insecta remedy. So basically, morphologically if we talk, insecta, sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, morphologically if we talk, insecta has three parts, which is segmented body and 4 pair of legs, whereas spiders are cephalothoracic and abdomen with 3 pairs of legs. Now we have seen ants. You know how ants are? They are always working, together they form groups. They take some grain or morsel of food, they collect it. Their ambition is to collect the food, to store the food, to always work. Right? So there is always work themes whenever you think of insectas. And they are goal oriented, always working. Like, for example, you can think of a kingdom. In that kingdom, there are soldier type of personalities. Like they're always working for the goal-oriented personalities. For the ambition to achieve the goals, they're always hardworking. Whereas spiders, there is always an ambition to do big, but which is of no use. It's goalless. It's just to attract the attention, to seek the attention. There is always a fruitful activity to be improved, to make a change, to bring up something betterment, fruitful in insect themes. There is always a theme of transition, transformation. Something which I had to do which could bring a change in my community, to bring change in my family, in my adaptability is what is the theme of Insecta. So whenever you get a patient who's of insect remedies, they'll always talk about doing something productive, to do something very better for the community. Whereas in spiders, you remember the Shakuni of Mahabharata, the plotting character, the one who is very much, vindictive and then bloody, because of whom the whole Mahabharata has started. There is a fruitless activity. He wants to get over someone, always trying to win in a deceitful way, to be very vindictive, possessive, manipulative, and overpowering, to just show that he's the supreme. As I said, spider actually belongs to the last king series in invertebrates. You would get this overpowering superiority, jealousness in the spider remedies. So what are the type of attacks? Whenever you talk about how the plotting happens in insectas, that is violent, ruthless attack. For example, Vespa and all belongs to insecta. They have a violentness in them. There is a fear of sudden attack, fear of war front attack. There is a feeling of harassed or being fighting back. Whereas in spiders, the spider waits for the prey to catch up, suddenly pounces, and then wait and watch. And then the whole body just metabolizes easily. They are actually cold-blooded animals, spiders. So what actually happens is when the prey is stuck, it automatically denaturalizes, and then the enzymes are released, and then it goes into the spider's stomach. So there is no work to be done for spider. It's just the lazy, alone loners sitting in the web. With that, there is a theme of being trapped. So this trapped feeling would be there in other sensations or other kingdoms also. You have to define what type of trap it is. How does it, airy feeling is there or not, and how it can be defined, through which we can go to the spider remedies. Usually when you ask for hobbies are a very good way to enter into a case. So when you ask what are the hobbies, usually insecta theme of remedies have sportiveness, together team sport games interests. It's always about the play sports which are actually togetherness, which involves a group, group together they win. Whereas in spiders, it is always about violent sports, brutal ones, kickboxing, solo sports where there is a lot of fight and wrestling and all those things, where there's a lot of bleeding, brutalness. There, that is a type of activity what actually spider remedies like a lot of drumming, as I said in music, drumming, music, jazz music. All those type of music is what spider remedy people prefer. Insectas, there is a lack of empathy for others. This can be seen in the Vespa and all those insects, all those remedies. There is exploitation and exploiting everything. Whereas in spiders, there is cruelty, sadism, deceitfulness, trickster, tricking, planning, plotting, lies, feeling sick, and all those things. Now, if you think towards the general's part, insecta are actually hot patients. They're always, working, and then it's always like they always keep themselves busy, always occupied, until unless they are ill, and they have a very big appetite. There is constant hunger because of their activity, and they are always active. Whereas spiders are cold, very chilly to bones. Rhythms, dancing, drums is what they all prefer. And they rely upon juices only. Whenever you think, you can characteristically think, if they're preferring juices, you can think of spider remedies. There's a passive way of taking food. As I said, the web, which is prepared by the saliva of spider, is the one which, cuts down the enzymatic thing, and then that is getting digested into the spider. So there is no active work. It's all passiveness which is going throughout. There is no effort. They're always lazy throughout. some of the rubrics through which we can understand the tendency or the theme of spiders is mind destructiveness, cunning, which has tarantula, mind deceitful or sly, tarantula, mind violence, Arania, Lactodoctus, Tarentula, Theridion, anger, violent, Tarantula, mind kill, desire to. You know, the female spiders after mating kill the male spiders. There is no sense of, kindness or death. It's always deceitful. There is aversion to society, to bright light, objects, colors, company aversion to, light aversion to. These all are the rubrics where you can find a lot of spider remedies. Let us now discuss one remedy, Tarentula hispanica. So first we'll be talking about some of the mind aspect and how actually we can figure out whether it is Tarentula hispanica. So Tarentula hispanica are hunting spiders. Previously it was used to scare the people. These are actually very large spiders which are unpleasant and aggressive. As I discussed previously, they belonged to the mygalomorph, the one which are violent ones, having toxic venom in them. And they are unable to, move. Whenever there is a situation or whenever there is a threat, they act or predict as if they are unable to move. They violently plunge into the prey. And they are very large. Actually, these are almost insensitive. The attack is very fast, lightning type of attack. And the same thing whenever you see the type of aggression in patients, it's very, very striking, very lightning, very much aggressive. Whenever a spider bites, this spider has, then we have a theme called tarantism. So whenever the spider bite happens, there is a heightened excitability, restlessness with the victims. And after that, the prey, where the spider, to whom the spider has bitten, there is a lot of movement in it. First, there is excitability, restlessness, then there is a lot of dancing, movement, unswayed movement. And then afterwards, the toxicity of venom reduces. So these spiders, as I said previously, it waits and the attack is so sudden that you can never find it out. Their industry is busy, high energy. There is love for music, fear of being assaulted, injured, or getting trapped. Because they are loners, there is another theme. They prefer to be lonely, but inside there is one more opposite sensation which turns out, that is the feeling of unreciprocated love or affection. There is always a theme of, attraction to wear bright colored clothes. Whenever you see patients having bright colored clothes and all, talking about all the sexuality and all this, then you can think of spider remedies. There's a lot of singing, dancing theme, music. Then you can think of tarantula. Mischievousness, cunning, hysterical behavior, lasciviousness, shamelessness, exposing himself. All this is just to attract. To attract and have attention. And what does it for? It's just to play and trick and trap around. So the whole story revolves around to trick and trap. You know how jokers and manipulators are like that. And the very strong confirmation of tarantula is the desire for music. The love for music is so extreme that even while urination, there is whistling when passing the urine. There is restlessness of extremities, which actually is ameliorated by music. So when the music runs, then the restlessness, the choric movements, all there are ameliorated. There is one more interesting theme of music relation, that is stays at one places when we listen to music. There is irresistible desire to dance. The kind of tarantula music which tarantula prefers is hard, fast and rhythmic. Sometimes at beatboxing, nowadays it is being too much trendy. Beatboxing also comes into the spider remedies. They prefer a lot of beatboxing set up of songs. Some other rubrics are ailments from sensory impressions, colors, aversion to red, yellow, green, and black, colors charmed by blue, green, red. There is complaining, threatening, and cursing. Destruction, threatening, death, with obviously a theme of dancing desire for, wild dancing desire for. Some other rubrics of Tarentula is darkness desire for, to lie down in the dark and to be not talked to, because a theme of loneliness, solitary theme. So this is how we can correlate, when we see the themes, what is actually there in spiders, then we can see it through the rubrics and then the symptoms. There is always a theme of animals being pursued in dreams, embarrassment in the presence of strangers, feeling sick, hide desire to desire, fear from desire to hide from fear of being assaulted, restlessness, music emulation, rhythmical music emulation. With that restlessness, there is anxiety, has to walk rapidly. In chorea symptoms, there is music emulation. Chorea, better while running than walking. There is one symptom, cough, which is better by smoking. Can anyone tell the remedy? What is that? Cough, better while smoking. Ignitia. Okay, Tarentula. Yeah. So cough better by smoking is Tarentula. Okay. So now let us discuss Theridion, the orange spider. We will start with rubrics now. There is a very predominant rubric called as delusion head belongs to other. Confusion of identity, sense of duality. Delusion separated from body. The head is separated from body. Craving for oranges and bananas. So how do you think these themes have come? So when you go to the features of Theridion, then you'll understand why this delusion of head belongs to other has come. So there is a peculiar feature of Theridion that the female spider completely dissolves her identity into that of her male partner. Exactly doing and seeing and thinking as her male partner does. Living completely to the eyes and mind of the other person. So once there is an event of partner leaving her, leaving her alone or leaving, she feels complete emptiness. There is a theme that she's completely alone. And all her things, it takes time for her to understand, to know herself again, to know her, realize her worth again. So because of whole thinking, everything belongs to that of like the same as that of male partner. There comes the rubric delusion head belongs to other. There is no self-thinking. It's all according to the male partner. There's always a confusion, sense of duality. That is how we can correlate with that of the rubrics. And the leading symptoms are oversensitivity to the noise which causes nausea, vertigo, chills, pains all over. There's a very prominent symptom in Ellen Knots as given by Theridion. All the things, striking pains, seems to penetrate through the body. Startled by least things, fruitless activity, busy. The time passes too quickly. Can anyone tell other remedies what our time passes too quickly?
Cannabis indica.
Okay, cannabis indica and urgentum nitricum. Okay. And what about time passes too slowly?
Alumina.
Yeah. Okay. So these are chilly remedies. Extreme sensitiveness of puberty during pregnancy and climatic years. Most of the complaints are always associated with vertigo. Closing eyes aggravation, like vertigo, closing eyes aggravation, right? So these are basically the spider themes which I wanted to discuss. Now yeah, let us see this chart. This is actually personal evolution chart. The chart is being differentiated into vertebrate and invertebrate themes. The development has been attached according to evolution because there is first aquatic development, then came the land development, then there was aeric development. So it was aquatic habitat, terrestrial habitat and aerial habitat. With that, what is the element? Whether it is water element is basically the womb element, the earth element, and then the fire element. So every column has been specifically assigned and kept. So here we will just discuss about the last column, that is the arachnids. Arachnids are placed in the last one, the aerial habitat, the one who are having adolescence features. Adolescent features basically belongs to the adolescence period of life where there is want of freedom. There is restriction but want of freedom. Because of that restrictions, they feel that trapped. The feeling of trapped comes from this theme of adolescence. And then further, there actually the other spider remedies are assigned or placed according to that evolution, whether it is in a womb stage, childhood stage, or school age, or adolescence age, or adult age and old age. But they all belong to the aerial quality of being airy, and then the feeling of being having freedom with the feeling of being trapped, stuck. Then you can think of spider remedies. And with the fire content, the superiority content, because they are in the last one, the king series type of personalities. Okay, so this is just a basic introduction. I don't want to go into deep of this chart. We will be further discussing this chart in the next upcoming series. This is just an overtinge of what we wanted to put in the PM chart of animal kingdom. So that's all for today's session. Or if anyone is having any doubt, we can discuss that.
Yes, now you can ask your question related to spider group of remedy. If anyone have any question.
Sir, actually I wanted to ask that if the patient's age is 55 or 60 years, can she comes under adolescent group of any other group of theme?
Yes,
which we have
why
shown
not?
in the chart?
Yes.
Yeah, so the age of the biological age, it has no relation with evolutionary race. Though person is of old age, 70, 80-year-old can be like a child because we have a rubric childishness, right? Childish behavior, giggling, these are the rubrics we have. So even a person who is like a 70 or 80-year-old can be like a small child, can be like a teenager, can be like a, or even a small child can be like a small child, can be like a old person. You see many people, many small child, you see lot of precocity. They speak about beyond their age. That is because of their evolutionary age. So this is possible.
And sir, in the first rubric, there are only few medicines.
Which rubric?
Precocity.
Yeah. But it's not, it's just the repertory, just the guideline. you need to have a lot of other remedies and other group of remedies from plant, animal and all to think of. Because there are many remedies are not even included in repertory, right? Still we are using them. So that's a different thing. But if you have to think of and work according to PM method, personal evolution model or method, then you have to learn that which medicine you have to put them in which area. Because nowadays Dr. Sankaran also has work on subclasses. So whatever Dr. Prashanti has said, like spiders are in a king series, that means subclass 6. So that way you can correlate.
So
And if you
basically,
have
it
to
is
correlate,
not about
yeah,
it's not about the age group. It's not that you're seeing the age group through numbers. It is actually how the patient is feeling about himself. Inside, what is the theme going on? How is he reacting to any situation? Whether if any situation is coming, how is he feeling that? Then you have to determine the age of how he's he reacting. Whether he's taking things into too much of restriction freedom, then we can think of adolescent ways. If he's feeling so much sensitive, too much very mild, then you can think of womb remedies. So it is how they react to that situation. Then we will not go with the number of age or what the age group the patient is belonging. We see how they react to the situation.
yeah. But this is one methodology, right? Yeah, there are other things also. So suppose you are not good or you are forced to this kind of method, you do not have to worry. There are a lot of ways. It's our fortune. We are kind of a fortunate. So we have multiple methods, even at deeper level, like a mind method, uh, uh, at mental symptoms, mental expression, themes, group themes. There are multiple things. So as much you are able to apply them, you have to apply them in your practice, right? It's not necessary you have to learn everything because every day something new is coming out. So everything is just evolving. Homeopathy is also evolving. Everything coming new and new and new every time. So as much you are able to learn them, just learn them. But these basic things like today we learn a spider group of remedies. Earlier we learned insect group of remedies, fish group of remedies. That are very important because suppose you come on a group theme of animal group of remedies, then you need something on that base you decide the medicine remedy. Suppose you had the precocity rubric in rapid because you see like your patient is very precocious. So you find 20, 30 remedies or maybe similar, right? But suppose you know like this patient is strongly animal remedy, then you have a few group of remedies, 4, 5, 7, 10. From that one medicine you have to pick up is very easy for you to referring materia medica or going through general symptoms or keynotes or other themes that you can find in your patient and you decide the medicine. So same way you have to work in your cases. Suppose from here we have a lot of learning going on and you get confused like how to apply this thing in my practice. I'm already doing very good practice. Then how I have to apply this all the things. Many people have this kind of question, but you do not have to worry. These are additional things. You have to add on. You have to follow the your way, whatever method you are following. And if possible, in your any case, not in all cases, apply this thing. And it's going to help you. It's additional tool. Earlier we had only two tools, Materia Medica and Repertory. But now these modern techniques, modern tools are added. That is a group, theme and different concepts. These are additional tools. So if you are able to use them, it's good. But you do not have to get confused or a compulsion like you have to learn it anyhow. Follow your way. You have your own method, because a Sankaran or whoever your teacher is doing good in his own clinic, but he is not going to deal your patients, right? You have to deal your patient. So you have to follow and you have to find out your own method, your own working style and follow that. And if possible, add on this all. It's kind of a additional things. And it's going to improvise in your practice day by day. You have more good results. Find out your ways, where you are lacking in your practice also, in case taking also. What are your limitations? Try to find out them. What mistakes you are doing. So, in this series of talk, you do not have to focus on how someone is presenting the things. You have to focus on to learn some new techniques. This is very, very important, because the teaching will go away after it goes in YouTube, right? So you can refer them, no problem. But suppose you are acquired with technique, new learning, then you can replicate them in your practice. That is very, very important. So in cases, whatever cases shared here, how to learn that? Because learning is one thing, but if you are not apply them in your practice, in your own cases, then it's useless. It's already there in many books and softwares and magazines, right? You are not able to use them, then it has no value. So you have to use them. Yeah, it's kind of a fruitless. Yeah. Anyone have any question? So this kind of journey we are going to continue till the end of the May, June, beginning of the June. So this kind of, even Dr. Prashant is also once more going to talk. But now onward sessions, we are not going to expose the topic they are going to discuss. So it's kind of a blind kind of trail we have. And we try to include cases in our session, so you can see how to apply whatever learning we are sharing in your clinical case. So one more teacher added, very senior homeopath, a German homeopath, but she is also living in India, Sigrid Lindman, and she will going to take next session, our next session. She is a very, very senior homeopath. Work with Dr. Sankaran when he was in delusion level in his practice. So very experienced homeopath. Let's how we can learn a lot of things from her.